So what's going on here? What kind of training is this? Is it for hypertrophy? Is it yoga? Is it movement, flexibility? What's the point? What are you gonna get out of all this animal and lizard movement? Well, if you're like me, then you wanna do training that gives you results in as little as possible time, anywhere, anytime. Whether or not it's your standard workout, if you're working long hours, or if you're, for instance, traveling, training in a hotel room. So maybe you have come across this movement training by Ido Portal, popularized by the superstar UFC fighter Conor Mcgregor, where you master your body weight with movement training, basically using only your body weight as resistance. So maybe that sounds familiar when you think about this channel, where we talk about the 80-20 rule, using the most efficient tools in body weight training. So what's the point of this type of training, and how much do I utilize it and could be of benefit for you? Well, Ido Portal basically talks about that many of us, when we train something, or when you're an athlete, that you become too specialized in, for instance, say CrossFit or yoga or weight training or golf or martial arts or whatever. In his opinion, it is not a good thing to become too specialized. You should basically have the space between all the sports that actually are connected by movement that can make a difference. And I would say that this is a similar mindset to the legendary martial artist Bruce Lee, where he said, take what is useful, discard what is useless, and add what is uniquely your own. And this is similar to my mindset. I'm not just purely training calisthenics, bodyweight training. I'm taking different elements from different sports, adding that to my arsenal to become the best athlete in a short amount of time. So what am I saying here? In my opinion, the most effective way of training is basic calisthenics, the push-ups, muscle-ups, Nordic ham curls, squats, archer squats, and so on. I want to do something that's healthy, that I can become extremely good at on a tight time budget. While this movement training by Ido Portal can be described as being mysterious training that you don't really understand and can feel in that way kind of exclusive, I only take small bits and pieces out of this type of training, and especially since this type of training hasn't been shown to be more efficient than weight training, which of course I think it's excellent, but I like to focus on calisthenics because I feel like that's the most efficient way of training when you think about great results on a tight time budget. Of course, basic weight training is great, but I like this type of training because I want to be efficient with my time. So I like to combine calisthenics with a little bit of cardio. However, I would never neglect something saying that you shouldn't do it, especially as there are always some elements from different disciplines that can be highly efficient. For instance, this type of training, I believe that it was a big factor when Conor McGregor was in his prime and won the UFC belt, becoming the double champ. It gave him this sort of looseness, and for me personally, these type of exercises have also helped me to become a better athlete. Bearing in mind, of course, this is just my subjective opinion. There's not some kind of science backing this up. But again, any type of movement, no pun intended, calisthenics or weight training, whatever you do that gets you going will of course get you to the next level. You showing up to the workout is what will drive you forward. That's the most effective way of training, but then again, let me help you sorting out the most efficient tools in movement training. For instance, this type of movement training has allowed me to improve my pushing strength, my core strength, and even my pull strength and mobility. And I also like to mix in this type of training, for instance, early on in the training session as a warm-up or as a cool down. It's kind of like serious play that Ido Portal would say, where you play around like a kid, but you still want to be on a tight time budget. So again, the point is to be time efficient. So let's have a look at different type of movement exercises. So take one or two of these and implement them into your training session and see how you feel regarding these. All right, so the three most efficient movement training exercises there are. Also let me know below in the comment section if you want to see more of these type of movement exercises, as of course there's a lot of different variations to these. So first off, we have the lizard walk. What's the point of this whole exercise? Here basically you will start with the basic one. The more distance that you have from the ground, the easier it's gonna be. The whole point is here to basically learn the nervous system, more complex movement patterns, as there's a lot of moving parts here. When you go lower to the ground, this will demand more from your elbows as well as the core. So this is an excellent supplementary exercise when you want to develop muscles that get neglected in standard exercises, but also if you want to train the core, the triceps, and also to learn more complex movement patterns. So first off, when you look at this exercise, it might look confusing. So we have to start from the highest one. All these different variations have the same mechanic. You start, for instance, with your left knee on the left elbow. Then you move your left hand up, and at the same time, your opposing knee, the right one, will move to the right elbow. And then after that, you will move the right hand up, again freeing the elbow from the knee, and then your left knee will go on the left elbow. So this can be a little bit confusing. That's why you should train the easiest version first, and then as you get comfortable with it, you can go lower. Next, you can also do the more advanced version where you can see that you do the same thing, but your ankle will swing like it would be the lizard's tail. So here basically every time you move forward, when your leg goes up, it will go over the opposing leg, kind of like a tail. The opposing ankle whips across the calf muscle, and it looks kind of cool. That's like really nice and really satisfying when you learn this type of training. I would say that it takes you at least 1 month to truly get comfortable with this lizard movement. Now, if this wouldn't be enough of a mind bend to you, you can also try to do this backwards. So this is probably the coolest exercise, but if you have trouble with this one, then you can try bear and monkey walks. This is a great exercise when you think about getting the basic mechanics of more complex and even confusing movement exercises, but it's also a really great one, for instance, if you have shoulder pain. I had AC joint irritation in the shoulder and also some issues with my rotator cuff. Now, this type of training where you're on your all fours was prescribed by my physiotherapist, and of course then I took it to the next level by transferring it into this movement training where you go back and forth. So this exercise can be great for prehab, rehab, strengthening the shoulder, and as well as the scapular muscle. So you build a stronger base, for instance, into a pull-up or a push-up. And you can also see that the bear walks have a similar movement pattern to the lizard walks, and you can do them slowly, you can also do them fast. We also use these type of exercises, for instance, in combat sports, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and so on. Then you can also experiment with this, I don't know what you would call it, gorilla walk or monkey walk, where you swing forward quickly. This then transfers us to the final exercise, to the monkey bars, where we do monkey bar swinging. Now, to get comfortable with the monkey bars, we have already discussed previously on this channel, link at the end of this one, the huge benefits of doing active hang from the bar. For instance, I work long hours in our startup in front of my computer, which means it compresses my spine. Now, we do a lot of sitting these days, and of course, that's kind of like the new smoking. So the hang is the first step to the monkey bar swing, and it's also a great mechanic as it will decompress your spine. Then when you move on to the monkey swing, it becomes a lot of fun. Of course, you can do these small monkey swings back and forth, but they don't really have the same technique as these big ones. So the big swings, if you look at it, I get a quite nice momentum into these ones, but it's actually the hand that's behind. You activate the scapular muscle, dragging you backwards to create the swing. This is an excellent and fun exercise for grip strength, scapular muscles, as well as to have some serious play combined to your normal training. Those were the most bang for the buck, kind of funny looking movement exercises, and especially good luck implementing these movement exercises at the gym. As Vito Portal says, you've never been truly to the gym if you've never been kicked out. Now these might help you with that. Now remember that health is about physical and financial health. So remember to check these two videos at the end of this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.